Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Sizzling with Sherry. I'm so glad you could join me today. I've got some new equipment, so forgive me. We'll get you set up. So today I'm going to make some Panko breaded butterflied shrimp. And it's going to be super simple. That's one of the things I love about a lot of the recipes that I do. For me, with my MS, the easier the better. So, that's always a bonus in my book. With that being said, we're going to get started. I'm going to drop you down, so I hope not to make you too dizzy. But let's bring you down here so you can see what I'm doing with the shrimp. And, there you are. Okay. I think that has about got it. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, so I want to make sure you can see it. Okay, so I did one already. That's what we're going to look like. I've already melted some butter. 2 reasons. 1, you didn't want to see me do it. 2, it needs to cool off a little bit because my fingers are going to get in there. So I have all this lovely shrimp. And what we want to do is leave tail on. So we're going to... Now these are already split, which does make things a little bit easier because they're set up as a peel and eat, but they're not cooked. So I want to just take that off and kind of come around the shrimp. Put that in my garbage bowl. There we go. And get that. That out of my way. Okay, so the other thing I want to point out is that when you're doing something like this and it goes in steps, it's easiest to complete one step before moving on for everything, before you move on to the next step. So with that being said, I've got 3 of them done. Let me just wipe my fingers off here. So what we want to do, and that one's done, so I'm going to put him over here because I want to season him. So you're going to come in on the back side of the shrimp with your paring knife. And we're not going to cut all the way through, but we're going to cut in and down. So you're leaving some of the top up there. And yeah, there's a little bit too much shell on there. Okay. And he is butterflied, so he will sit over here. We'll show you again. Simple stuff. Just watch your fingers because we don't want to add you as the extra seasonings. Okay. And that will come over here. Now, there are multiple ways for you, and I'm just going to rinse my fingers here, to season your shrimp. Now, I'm going to do with a simple salt and pepper today. And with that being said, you want to make sure you get both sides, and we want to sprinkle from the top. It's going to rain seasonings because we don't want it really located in one spot. And we'll just flip this over. Now, you can, make this a Cajun seasoning and, add some spices there too. You can make it a Creole. You can make them spicy, add some cayenne, whatever kind of seasoning seems best for you. Now, this hand's already wet, so that's going to be my wet hand. And I'm going to come into, move this out of our way. Bring my platter here, my baking dish. Oops. So I'm going to go into the butter. Make sure it gets really good and soaked. And then into my breadcrumbs. And we'll just easily get that up top. Kind of shove him in. So you can see it is breaded on both sides. Set him flat. We'll complete that with these guys. So my 2-cup prep bowl. There we go. And it goes by really, really quick. So I already have the oven preheated. And these don't take really long to cook. So I'm going to be able to show you what they look like when they come out. You know what? I don't think that got seasoned under there. There we go. Okay. Rinse those fingers off again. And I'm going to put this into the oven. I'm going to bring you back up here for a minute because you just so want to see me do that, don't you? There we are. Hello. Okay. And, you don't want them to cook that long. And with that being said, you don't want them to overcook. Hi, Vicki and Jessica. So glad you could join me today. So yeah, you don't want them to overcook. So, put a timer on it. That way, because if they cook, shrimp is kind of funky. If they cook too long, they're rubbery. And we don't need that. Who wants to eat a rubber shoe, right? So we'll put them in there for a couple of minutes. And, with that being said, that's, a key component to cooking. You need to watch your time. A lot of things need specific amounts of time when they're being cooked. And excuse me. Hi, Christopher. He's joined us too. That is exciting. So I have a lot of friends online. Thank you. But it's a simple dish. Simple's fun. Simple's one of my main characters, and I don't need my glasses on. I had those on to make sure I didn't cut my finger while I was cutting into the shrimp. Because, who wants all of that? We don't. So, got a few minutes on the shrimp. There are a lot of things that you can do with a lot of the different tools. And there's Antonella. Hi, lady. Nice to see you. But, 2 reasons I joined Pampered Chef to begin with. And one of them was when I first joined so many years ago, was because it was a position I could do, a job I could do around my husband's schedule. So we had childcare, and that was a big point. My going back to work when I started, after having my child, my daughter, the question is it worth going back to work? We would have been ahead by $12 at the end of the month. It's not worth it. So this panned out for me. I really like to cook. And for me, hi, Chris. He sends me a hey you. I like cooking. I like talking with people. I like being around people. But there were issues with it way back when in regard to getting where I needed to go and things of that nature and getting what I needed out of the parties. So we fast forward to when I started again, because I had left at one point, and I started again so many years later. That's when things were being done online. So we're back to, this is a better issue for me. And that might be a good reason for you to sign up. Because it's always a good idea to have a backup plan. As in today, I'm personally quarantined. I get to go back to work. Eventually, I haven't heard just when. Ohio has lifted we're starting to lift the quarantine. And the schools are not going back this year. Schools are going back maybe next year. Hi, Sharon. Glad to see you too. And so we're going back maybe next year. It's up for debate. And in the meantime, I'm doing this to keep me sane and maybe make some extra bucks on the side. And, it is what it is. So the other thing I'm working on is cleaning the kitchen. I know you can see over my shoulder. The kitchen table is a disaster. It's been that way for a little while. But, one thing at a time. So, anyway, this is life in the Sereno house. What can I say? So, I enjoy staying with you. So tell me, real quick, I'll tell you what. If you have a stone, a baking stone in your house, a cooking stone, say stone, just let me see what you got going on. In the meantime, stones were another reason that I did kind of sign up with Pampered Chef, because I know they're so much easier to clean. If you had seen some of the recipes I made for Easter, the au gratin potatoes, that is a major, major issue. You make a good pan of au gratin potatoes, and it's going to take you 3 times to clean. You got to soak that pan 3 or 4 times to get it clean. Once I got my stoneware, I put some water in the stone. I did the rest of the dishes. I came back and I wiped it out. The stone was clean. My dishes were done. I love stoneware. They're done. Hold your horses. We'll get them. Okay. Need my oven pads. I really miss that they don't make these anymore. I need another pair because mine are so darn old. There we go. All right, bring these over here so you can see them. I'm gonna bring it down a little bit. There we go. Okay, so I have a really nice pink on these. They're done. They can use a little bit of color, and you can do that simply by putting it under the broiler. Now, in general, you don't want to put, I'm going to put this down as warm. There we go. You don't want to put your stoneware directly under the broiler, but you can use it that way as long as it's further down in your oven. So it's going to take longer for the heat to reach your stone. Now, the new rock crocks that they have come out with are amazing because they can go on the grill, on the stovetop. They're glazed like an enamel pan. I love those things. I can't wait to get one. I don't have them yet. I've seen them, but that's what I'm working towards. So anyway, we have a simple meal. That's dinner tonight. I'm going to finish making up the rest of those so Jennifer and I can have some dinner tonight. I want to thank you all for joining me today. And I wish you the best. Stay healthy, stay in, stay warm, and keep smiling. We'll see you again soon. Bye.